Good company, good wine, good welcome can make good people. William Shakespeare. Hi, I'm Jamie Chaney and I'm presenting wine fermentation. Why this topic? Being Italian, I love wine. I live in Temecula Valley, wine country, but most importantly, my husband makes wine. Obviously, this topic is near and dear to my heart, so let's get started. When was wine first discovered? First suspected residue was found in Iran. First true evidence found in Egypt over 5,000 years ago, with a lot being found in the tombs. King Tut's tomb even had red and white wine residue. What about first findings of the fungus Saccharomyces cerevisiae? Earliest evidence was found in the Scorpion King's tomb, who died in 3150 BC. Fun fact, the oldest bottle of wine was found in 1867 near Speyer, Germany, and it dates to approximately 325 AD. Well, how about the discovery of fermentation? Louis Pasteur, one of the greatest scientists who lived, is responsible for this. It happened that a group of French merchants asked him to figure out why their beer and wine soured. He disproved the current scientific belief that air converted sugar into alcohol. He proved that the Saccharomyces cerevisiae was responsible instead. The yeast is oval and creates new yeast daughter cells by growing them on the side of their cell wall. And with his work on fermentation, Pasteur also founded microbiology. Now that we know who to thank, let's learn about the chemical process of fermentation. Fortunately, we did cover this last week in class. The glycolysis of a molecule of glucose converts to two molecules of pyruvic acid and two molecules of ATP. Pyruvic acid molecules convert to two molecules of acetaldehyde and two molecules of CO2. Once the pyruvic acid creates these molecules, it keeps the acetaldehyde, and they are reduced by two molecules of NADH and form ethanol, again with two molecules. But there are more steps to make a great wine. Suppressing the growth of undesirable microorganisms such as Acetobacter. These are bacteria that float on the surface of the wine and look like rod-shaped sausages strung together. They turn ethanol to acetic acid, which is vinegar. This is one reason air must not come into contact with the wine while it is fermenting. Another issue that can come into play is that the yeast do not have enough nitrogen, and when that happens, it produces sulfur dioxide, that rotten egg smell. Temperature control is also vital to help the yeast grow. Pull out all the flavors and colors from the skin and allow desirable byproducts. If the temperature gets too high, the yeast will die. There are also certain yeast strains known as killer strains. They put toxins in their environment that kill sensitive strains of yeast. This is known as the killer phenomenon. Fermentation can take place in different vessels. When enologists, who are winemakers, use large containers, the amount of carbon dioxide given off is enough to prevent air from entering. With small containers, fermentation traps are used to prevent air entering, but allow carbon dioxide to exit. Fermentation completion occurs once all the sugar is consumed. The yeast die because this is what they require to metabolize. The yeast also stop producing carbon dioxide, so the solids sink to the bottom. The gas usually push the loose skins to the top, forming a cap, so that must be periodically pushed down, which happens to be one of my favorite parts of production. Once the yeast sink to the bottom, the new wine is racked to get rid of the sediment. This new wine still needs a lot of time to settle out the remaining particles, but the fermentation process is complete. So now you know a little more about wine fermentation. I love helping my husband from grape to bottle. And here's a few that we've made. Thank you.